So a little while ago, one day I woke up and I wasn't feeling too good. Later that night, started throwing up a lot, and it was a Friday night. So that next Saturday morning, I was like, Mom, I need to go to the doctor. But no doctors were open on Saturday, so I went to the hospital. And after doing some tests and stuff, they were like, yeah, your blood sugar is at 500, which is crazy high, and you have type 1 diabetes, which was just great to hear, great to get my weekend going. And as you can see, it's kind of a rare disease. Most people have type 2, which is older people who just kind of have sedentary lifestyles, don't eat well, and they can't produce enough insulin. Whereas with me, my pancreas, which you can see up there, doesn't produce any for just no reason at all, just hates me. So I'm just gonna talk about that a little bit. When I got to the hospital, I was in a state called diabetic ketoacidosis, which we'll talk about a little bit later, but you're basically just kind of fatigued and just not feeling well and throw everything up that you eat. So up here on the bottom, that's an insulin pen. I get to use that about 4 times a day and just stab myself in the stomach to inject insulin into my system. In the upper right, that's a more modern approach. It's called an insulin pump. You can actually connect it to your phone and give you guys updates on your blood sugar and how much insulin you need to take. On the pen at the bottom, there's actually 2 kinds of insulin. There is rapid acting and long acting. The rapid acting works with each meal, so depending on how much carbs, you're actually looking at carbs and not just sugar. A lot of people think it's just sugar, but it's carbs. And depending on how many carbs you have, depends on how many units of insulin you take. And then there's the long acting, which you'll take about once a day, and that kind of slowly goes into your system in 24-hour periods. That's why you only take it once a day. On the left, that's how you inject yourself. You just kind of stab yourself in the stomach, as I said, 4 times a day. And on the right is a glucose meter, which you also just stab yourself in the finger and make yourself bleed and check your blood sugar. You don't want it to be too high, because if it's too high, you will be in that, you could potentially be in that diabetic ketoacidosis state and be fatigued, throw up, and really dehydrated. If it's too low, you could actually just like pass out, which isn't good either. But what I want to talk about today is these diabetic products that I need to survive because I can't produce insulin. In the past 10 years or so, from 2002 to 2013, insulin has gone up 3 times as much as it was in 2002. And 2013 was now 5 years ago, almost 6 years ago, so it's gone up even more. On the right here, that's a young man named Alec. He's from Minnesota. He was 24 years old, and he worked at a restaurant, making about $40,000 a year, but he didn't have health insurance, couldn't afford it. So he said, he was a type 1 diabetic as well. He said, I am going to pay for it out of pocket with my own money and not have insurance cover it. Didn't realize how much insulin cost without health insurance. So he started rationing his insulin, only using it bare minimally, and reached a state of diabetic ketoacidosis, went untreated, and passed away. So my whole thing today is to talk about how pharmaceutical companies are kind of taking advantage of people that need diabetic supplies such as insulin, pumps, and things like that to make a profit. I understand capitalism, you want to make a profit, but we talk about conscious capitalism. You got to think about the consumer as well. If everyone is passing away and can't afford it, then they're not going to be able to purchase it. It's insulin. It's not like a pair of shoes. If there's a $1,000 pair of shoes, you just don't buy it. I mean, I can't just not buy insulin. Luckily for me, I have a single mom who has decent health insurance, but that one stay I was in the hospital when I had diabetic ketoacidosis was like a $20,000 stay in the hospital if I didn't have insurance. And then from there, I had to buy all these pumps, meters, strips, and everything like that. So thank you for coming to my TED Talk.
Thank you.